Democratic Senator Adam Schiff put on an absolute clinic today in the Senate committee where Attorney General Pam Bondi was under oath. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who spent years as Florida's top prosecutor, apparently forgot how cross-examination works, the moment she sat in front of someone who actually knows how to do it. Democratic Senator Adam Schiff, who prosecuted cases for the federal government before Bondi was even in office, just put on an absolute masterclass in how to trap a witness using their own contradictions. And in this explosive moment that I'm about to show you, he demonstrated what she was refusing to answer. It was brutally incriminating against Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Trump regime. Let's watch the hearing, and I will give you my take later in the video.
So these are just some of the questions you refused to answer, or have answered with personal attacks on members of this committee. You were asked whether you consulted with career ethics lawyers, as you promised you would do during your nomination hearing, when you approved the president receiving a $400 million gift from the Qataris. You refused to answer that question. You were asked who or what role you may have played, or who played the role in asking that Trump's name be flagged in any of the Epstein documents gathered by the FBI. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether Homan kept the $50,000 bribe money. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether Homan paid taxes on the $50,000 bribe money. You refused to answer that question. You were asked, did career prosecutors find insufficient evidence to charge James Comey? You refused to answer that question. You were asked, how are military strikes on these boats in the Caribbean legal? And you refused to even answer that question.
You were asked, a law degree,
excuse me. You were asked, did you discuss indicting James Comey with the president? You refused to answer that question. You were asked, did you approve the firing of antitrust lawyers who disagreed with the Hewlett-Packard merger? You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether you support a restoration fund for violent insurrections to attack the Capitol on January 6th. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether you were firing career professionals, career prosecutors, just because they worked on January 6th investigations. You refused to answer that question. You were asked by my California colleague whether you believe government officials, like immigration officials, have to abide by court orders. You wouldn't even answer that question. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing.
Oversight?
Excuse me, you can attack me after my time is over.
You've attacked all of us.
But in case I just didn't hear you, what is the answer? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, that happened prior to my confirmation as Attorney General. I said that.
Do you know, sitting here, whether
all
he took the money?
I know is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Leavitt is one of the most trustworthy human beings I know.
So
and,
was she, was she
if you worked for me, you would have been fired because you were censured by Congress for lying with your
we can stipulate to, you can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
Personal attacks? You've been attacking my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been attacking.
But what we're interested in,
borders are.
What we're interested in is the answer to these oversight questions.
You were asked by my colleague.
You were asked by my colleague.
Attacking good people.
Regular order, Madam Chair, so I can ask a question. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt denied Homan took the $50,000, telling a reporter, quote, "Mr. Homan never took the $50,000 that you're referring to, so you should get your facts straight." So today, I hope you can help us get our facts straight. Was that true, what the White House press secretary said when she denied Homan took the money? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, as I stated earlier, I was not in office. I was not confirmed when that was handled.
So does that
Deputy Attorney General Blanche and Director Patel said that there was no evidence that Tom Homan committed a crime. Yet now you're putting his picture up to slander him.
No, I'm putting his picture up showing an interview he gave with, I think, Fox, in which he was asked explicitly about these allegations that he took a $50,000 bribe, and he refused to answer. He said he didn't answer the question whether he took the money. So I'm asking you the question. Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, I answered that question multiple times. And frankly, you know.
Well, I don't think, with respect, I don't think you did. But in case I just didn't hear you, what is the answer? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, that happened prior to my confirmation as Attorney General.
Do you know,
I said that.
You were asked by my colleague from Vermont whether you will support providing a video or audio tape, if it exists, of Mr. Homan taking $50,000 in bribe money from the FBI. Will you support a request by this committee to provide that tape or tapes to the committee? Yes or no?
Senator Schiff, you can talk to Director Patel about that.
Well, I'm talking to you about it. You're the Attorney General. This will be your decision. Will you support?
You don't have to tell me what is my decision and what is not my decision. I said you can talk to Director Patel.
You don't have to try to.
You think you've got a gotcha with Tom Homan, our border czar, who's been out there fighting for our country since Donald Trump took office.
I'm trying to ask you a question. Regular order, please. And you don't have to defer to the FBI director to pass the buck. So I'm asking you, will you support a request so that the committee, or indeed, I believe the American people, should be able to see that video or audio tape? Will you support that request?
Will you apologize to Donald Trump for trying to impeach him?
I guess the answer is you won't support that request.
After you now know that Joe Biden tried to cover up Hunter Biden's involvement with Ukraine.
Let me do this, because I think it's valuable that the American people get a sense of what you've refused to answer today. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing.
Oversight?
Excuse me, you can attack me after my time is over.
You've attacked all of us, including President Trump, for your entire career.
You can attack me later, and I know you've got plenty of canned attacks. We've heard them all day to day.
Canned attacks on you?
This is supposed to be—
No one needs a canned attack on you.
Regular order, Madam Chair, I'm trying to speak. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing of the Justice Department. And it comes in the wake of an indictment called for by the president of one of his enemies. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing, and it comes in the wake of revelations that a top administration official took $50,000 in a bag, and this department made that investigation go away. This is supposed to be an oversight hearing when dozens of prosecutors have been fired simply because they worked on cases investigating the former president. This is, and now the current president.
What about the fires in California?
And
do you care about that, Senator Schiff?
This is supposed to be an oversight hearing in which members of Congress can get serious answers to serious questions about
Are the riots in LA serious?
About the cover-up of corruption, about the prosecution of the president's enemies. And
I think you owe the president an apology.
When will it be that the members of this committee on a bipartisan basis demand answers to those questions and refuse to accept—
Clearly you're a failed lawyer because you don't understand when someone can and cannot answer a question.
Refuse to accept personal slander as an answer to those questions.
Personal slander? Will you apologize to Donald Trump for slandering him? Personal slander.
When over 1,000 former federal prosecutors have sounded the alarm about the unprecedented degree to which the powers of DOJ are being abused to go after the president's enemies, I approach this hearing with a heavy heart. As a former federal prosecutor myself, I served in a department that, whether it was under a Democratic or Republican president, would never use the office to go after the president's enemies or to hide the corruption of his friends. But today, the Justice Department has been used to cover up the possible corruption of the mayor of New York or of a high-level administration official taking $50,000 reportedly in cash in a bag, or a child sex predator who befriended the president and some of his cabinet members. And instead of preventing partisan weaponization, your department has engaged in a brazenly political prosecution at the president's explicit direction. The department has become President Trump's personal sword and shield to go after his ever-growing list of political enemies and to protect himself, his allies, and associates.
Let me walk you through one of the most explosive congressional hearings in recent memory, where a former federal prosecutor completely dismantled an attorney general who spent the entire day refusing to answer basic questions. Senator Adam Schiff opened his questioning with something absolutely brilliant. Instead of asking new questions, he started by listing every single question Pam Bondi had refused to answer throughout the hearing, and the list was staggering. Did she consult ethics lawyers before approving Trump's $400 million gift from Qatar? She refused to answer. Question after question after question, all met with either complete silence, deflection, and personal attacks on the members asking them. This went on for minutes, and it painted a devastating picture of an attorney general who came to a supposed oversight hearing with absolutely no intention of providing oversight. Then Schiff asked on something specific. Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, allegedly took $50,000 in cash in a duffel bag back in 2004. The White House press secretary explicitly told reporters this never happened, and they should get their facts straight. So Schiff asked Bondi a simple question. Was that true? Did Homan take the money? Now here's where it gets interesting. Bondi didn't say no. She didn't say Homan didn't take the money. Instead, she claimed this happened before she was Attorney General, that it wasn't her responsibility, that other officials said there was no crime. But Schiff wasn't asking about a crime. He was asking a yes or no question. And when Schiff pointed out that Homan himself was asked this exact question on Fox News and also refused to answer, the implication became impossible to ignore. If Homan won't deny taking the money and the Attorney General won't deny he took the money, then what are we supposed to think? Then Schiff asked about the evidence. There's reportedly video or audio tape of this $50,000 cash transfer. Would Bondi support releasing those tapes to the committee so Americans could see what actually happened? Her response was to immediately deflect to the FBI director, claiming it wasn't her decision. When Schiff pushed back that she's literally the Attorney General and it absolutely is her decision, Pam Bondi completely lost it. She started yelling, bringing up totally unrelated topics, accusing Schiff of past misconduct, anything to avoid answering the question. The contrast was stunning. Schiff remained calm and methodical, asking the same straightforward questions. Meanwhile, Pam Bondi was screaming, attacking Democrats, praising Trump officials, and bringing up California crime statistics when asked whether government officials have to follow court orders. What made this so powerful was that Schiff wasn't trying to trap her with complicated legal theories or gotcha questions. He was asking basic factual questions that any attorney general should be able to answer. As Schiff pointed out, over 1,000 former federal prosecutors have sounded the alarm about how the Justice Department is being weaponized to go after Trump's enemies while covering up corruption among his friends. This hearing proved exactly why they're so alarmed. The Attorney General of the United States refused to answer whether a top administration official kept $50,000 in bribe money, refused to release evidence of it, and spent her time attacking the senators, asking legitimate oversight questions. This wasn't oversight. This was a cover-up happening in real time. You're watching Inside Politics. Subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.